Hey, so I want to give a quick little snippet of just how powerful someone's story can be. Eric Brook, who is the composer and writer, songwriter, singer, who did the music on our podcast for Not Built That Way, was doing a private show at a local microbrewery, I guess it's called, and called me up and he said, "Can you be there?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be there. What's up?" I want to bring you up before I sing the song Not Built That Way to give your story and how that song impacted you and where we've gone since. Humbled, overwhelmed, joyous, whatever you want to call it. I was stoked. So we went. And Eric brought me up and he said, "Look, I wrote this song for a friend of mine who was going through some health troubles, and we thought he was going to take the hard, easy way out. The song's about suicide. And it has impacted another very good friend of mine in an incredible way. And I'd like to bring him up and have him tell his story." Excuse me. So I did. And I got up and I said how it came about with Eric and the podcast and the opportunity that was presented. I made mention that I was a suicide survivor and how 4 years ago with the transition to civilian life, straight civilian life, as a military retiree, I had a hard time. And I talked briefly about the darkest day. And, Eric wanted me to plug the podcast. So I said, as of this morning, the day that this event happened, Apple contacted me and said, "Congratulations, we're going to list your podcast on Apple Podcasts." Small round of applause. I gave my tags, the hashtags, told them where to find the podcast. And I only spoke for probably 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes, in this room of less than 40 people, 3 people came to me and said that my story had impacted them. One of those was the parent of a suicide. His child at 30 years old had committed suicide. And he could hardly talk to me. Another lady came up to me and said, "I work for the survivorship program with the Department of the Army. She is the individual who acts as the liaison when a service member passes, either in combat, accident, whatever. She's the person, and it's an incredible responsibility." So her and I have made contact with each other. Another lady just came up and said, I can't imagine what it took to get up there and talk that way, and I just really, really respect you for doing it, and thank you. The bartender, the manager, paid my bill that night in complete and utter shock. I mean, it wasn't a huge bill. It was like 3 drinks for the wife and water for me. But still, the gesture, was heartwarming, was overwhelming. It was amazing. So what I want to tell you is, you never know someone's story unless you ask. You may be somebody else's lesson. How you handle yourself, how you present yourself, the stories that you tell, the things that you've come through may be an inspiration to others. It may be the story, the catalyst that ignites the flame in them to turn the corner in their own lives. It may be the push that they need to go get help. So don't be afraid to tell your story. Get it out there. Not only is it going to be healing for you, but it could be healing for somebody else. So I challenge you, get out, tell your story. Don't be afraid. You're not going to get judged. You're not. And if you do, send them my way and I'll judge them my way. The main reason people judge others is because they're not educated in that scenario, in that life experience. They don't know about it. So if you educate them honestly, truthfully, and emotionally, most people are going to accept it. And it may give them a different perspective to where they change their attitude on certain things as well. So get out, tell your story. Don't be afraid. You can do it. Remember, we'll get through this together. Thanks for listening.